What's up guys, Tommy with Studio Sins here. Welcome to a new day, new video. Today I'm talking about a brand new release that I'm super excited to finally get my mitts on, and that is a new Giorgio Armani flanker. It's what I consider possibly the final evolution, or I guess that's a question. Could this possibly be the final evolution of the Armani Code fragrance DNA in Armani Code Parfum? So when we come back, we're going to take a closer look at this new release. That and more is coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. Today we're taking a focused look at the new release by Giorgio Armani, Armani Code Parfum. In typical tradition, what we do is we take a closer look at the presentation before we move on and talk about the notes and what I think my first impressions of the fragrance are. So let's take a closer look at that presentation because it has changed quite a bit. The Armani Code Parfum box has quite a bit of information on it this time. On the front, it's Armani Code, it says Parfum, Giorgio Armani, refillable spray. So that seems to be the trend in bottles, is that they are making them refillable. On the right panel of the box, 80% is full of lettering that I can't read. If you can read, congratulations to you, you've got better eyesight than me. It's just a bunch of information. On the left panel is a pictorial representation of refilling the bottle and Giorgio Armani's commitment to the environment, along with a QR code. On the very back is the actual ingredients listing, address, additional information there, along with a UPC and a very small QR code. On the bottom is a batch code of 38W502P. Armani Code Parfum is a parfum concentration. Imagine that. It comes in multiple sizes. This is a 125 ml bottle, or 4.2 fluid ounce. The bottle itself is quite different than what we're used to seeing with Armani Code. It is a kind of a square bottle with rounded edges and silver accents or highlights. On the bottom of the bottle is a sticker with the batch code along with additional information. The bottle is made very, very well. It's very heavy. It's glass, but it has a black lacquered or smoked look to it. The atomizer is silver. The cap is magnetic. The most striking thing about Armani Code Parfum is the bottle that it's in. Now you can take one look at the bottle and kind of tell that it's substance over style this time, unless you just really like this kind of minimalistic look. I feel like I do want to like it, but to me it's not quite as stylish as this. This is an example of the typical Armani Code bottles that we're used to. However, I feel like I can come to enjoy this. The idea behind the bottle is sustainability. So Giorgio Armani is all about the environment. It's all about protecting the environment. I feel like this fragrance was created with the notes that it's created with in view of the future in mind. They don't want to have to pull an Yves Saint Laurent like with Blue Electrique because of certain fragrant notes that are going to be either hard to get a hold of or banned in the future. So they're creating this with sustainability in mind. For sure, the fragrance bottle is very heavy. It's built like a tank, you know, and it's built to be refillable. So you literally just take the top off, take the refillable bottle, put it on top, squeeze it until it's full, and then screw it back on, put the lid back on, and you're good to go. The lid is magnetic, so that's kind of a nice nod itself. The front simply says Armani Code Parfum, and you've got your sticker on the bottom there. So now that we've taken a look at the presentation, we've got an idea of, you know, it's built like a tank for a very specific reason, even though it's a little bit of just a minimalistic look, more along the lines of substance over style. Let's talk about the notes that make up the fragrance. What are the notes that create Armani Code Parfum? Armani Code Parfum features top notes of Calabrian bergamot, an innovative and exclusive technique of crafting the note captures the bergamot's fresh and green top note while creating a long-lasting freshness. In the heart is clary sage and iris. This blend of natural resinoid iris from Morocco and the synthetic aldehydes of iris lends a new sensitivity to the aromatic Armani Code signature. While drawing on the heritage of the original Armani Code fragrance, the fragrance's powerful base is characterized by the potent tonka bean absolute, which is from Brazil, together with the cedar wood heart from Virginia, USA. Armani Code Parfum's base notes underscore the commanding Armani Code signature. So again, the only published notes we know in the top, Calabrian bergamot. In the heart, you've got clary sage and iris, specific molecules, and in the base, tonka bean absolute and Virginia cedar. So kind of emblematic of the original 2004 Armani Code, which had tonka bean. I think it had guaiac wood though, instead of cedar wood. Very much part of the heritage of the OG Armani Code. Now that we know what's in the fragrance, what does it smell like? Again, the atomizer is silver. It's built very well because remember, it's created to be taken off multiple times as you refill the bottle over time. The spray is not a pressurized spray, obviously, but it sprays a very good amount of juice. So the pump in the atomizer is very well made. The thing that strikes me first as I'm smelling Armani Code Parfum is that it is Armani Code. It's got the original kind, it feels like it's going back in time to the original, but they're definitely laying a little bit heavier on the tonka bean and it is quite powdery. So whatever process that they use, I think it's some kind of molecular distillation process to pull the specific notes, you know, because there's quite a few different components that go into creating an actual fragrant note. So they're kind of separating out what they want and making it more condensed to make it fresher and longer lasting. And that is definitely underscoring the fragrance. It's extremely powdery, extremely aldehydic. It's got that dry, light feeling and sensation that's almost like sport scent profile, but it's a lot more elegant than a sport fragrance. I like the fact that they're imbuing that very dry, very powdery aldehydic in a very masculine fragrance. This is not what I would consider a usual casual fragrance. While I can definitely see wearing this casually, it's literally like the most refined version of the DNA, and that's what Armani Code Parfum is. It's that Armani Code DNA, but it's a little bit sweeter, which means that they're laying heavier on the tonka bean absolute. It's got a very dry, very powdery, and what it does with the iris is very unique. This isn't one of those super iris heavy fragrances. It's not Valentino Uomo Intense iris. It's not even Prada L'Homme iris. Not Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir Parfum iris. It's none of those. An oversimplification, of course, but literally what you're getting is just a very, very dry iris. And there's something that's really cool about that. It's a very neat effect in fragrance. It's got a very finished, a very complete, a very whole feel to it. The vibe I'm getting from this is lightly casual, but wholly refined. Completely done. I'm very pleased with this. I feel about Armani Code Parfum the similar way that I feel about Ralph's Club Parfum, using very, very high quality fragrance oils, specifically having the future in mind. You know, that's part of their sustainability. Like, I think the bottle was created in a non-carbon factory using a ton of different recycled materials so that you're kind of saving the planet as you're wearing your signature fragrance. Overall, I'm very pleased with this fragrance. In what season can you wear it? To answer those basic questions, this is an all-season fragrance. I've sprayed this on skin. I'm gonna let it dry down for a few minutes, then I'm gonna come back with my final thoughts on Armani Code Parfum. I'll tell you what, guys, we're gonna get to the day in the future when the science is able to allow for a fragrance where you can actually, in chronological order, pick out the top notes, the heart notes, and the base notes. And you're gonna be able to spray that fragrance on, you're gonna be able to pick those notes out, and it's gonna be a very ever-present but very likable transition from one to the other. It's going to be infused into the scent profile, walking along, and oh, here come the heart notes. I really like that. Or here come the base notes. But until that day, the closest thing that we have to that scenario, I think, is Armani Code Parfum. I really am enjoying the body of this fragrance a lot more than I thought. This is probably one of the best first impressions out of a fragrance that I've had in quite some time. And I was excited about this coming out, but not as excited as some of the other fragrances that have been released in the recent past. But this by far has been one of the best impressions that have been left with me in a designer fragrance in a while. Having said that, the iris in this is very different than the iris that you're used to. It's not iris heavy, it's just right. You know, I scoffed at the price when I first saw it. This is one of those few designer releases that I feel like it's worth the retail cost of the fragrance. It's that good. This is 125 ml size. You can get it in a variety of sizes right now at most department stores. If I'm not mistaken, Macy's is gonna have a sale starting on the 25th of August going through the 28th, in which you get 15% off. So you might wanna check that out. If that sale is going to be going on in your area, and I have linked below. While I can't speak to the longevity of the fragrance, it has literally been scientifically crafted to last a long time. I'm probably not going to wait a ton of time before I give you guys a full review. I'll be wearing this daily until then and taking notes and everything, so be on the lookout for that very soon. In the meantime, thanks so much for stopping by and checking out today's first impressions of Armani Code Parfum. If you've already bought it and tried it out or tried a sample, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thanks again for taking time out of your day, and as always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.